Hey guys, what is going on? It is Chris here once again. We are looking ahead to today's very nice slate for Wednesday the 9th for NBA. It's looking pretty good. Anyway, if you guys do go ahead and like the video, leave a like, I appreciate it, and also hit that subscribe button for more NBA lineup advice videos, price fix for NBA and MLB as well. So, last night for premium, this is one of our subscribers. It was a pretty solid night last night. We scored a 346.1 for our premium. He won $250, so definitely a nice little shout out to him. So yeah, let's break down this lineup a little bit. So I went with Beekman here. Um, this is also helped from my simulation models. A lot of you guys probably been hearing about that, but like I said, I got my own simulation model, so it definitely helped this out because there's a couple people in here that I would never ever pick, but the models loved them and I put them in here. So anyway, Beekman 27.8. This dude scored 30 without scoring a real point. He had 10 assists, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals. Didn't even score a real point. That's crazy to me. So 27.8, solid for him. Harden was a solid cash game play. Like I said, I knew Leonard was not going to play in this one, so 46.8 was a solid. Horton Tucker, I was expecting a little bit more. I knew he wasn't going to start, but I still thought he was going to pop off a little more. Had 17 points, but just was expecting a little bit more from him off the bench. They kept with Cleveland pretty good, but just gave a little less there at the end. One of the people that my computer did have was KCP. I never picked this guy because he just usually sucks. 29.6. Yeah, so the computer models loved him. For ones that actually went off, usually he doesn't go off. So, next was Paulo Banchero. I talked about Banchero and Wagner as in my price picks videos that I like the overs on them on their fantasy. I think Paulo was 47 and Wagner was 40.5, so obviously both of them did hit that, so not too bad. Matthias Bazulius, 38.5, solid with Chicago being out with a lot of their dudes. Zach Collins, I'm so surprised, kind of like Tucker, that he didn't start, but I still thought Collins would be, solid off the bench since I know who this guy is. 7 points, 3 assists, 13 rebounds, 5 turnovers, man. Collins, that hurts. That hurts my man. Mobley killed it with a 50.9, and then Ivak Zubac with a 56.5 absolutely crushed it as well. So, like I said, pretty good night. Here's another one of our subscribers, won 33.5, $33.50. Sorry about that. But yeah, definitely not too bad of a night as well. So, as normal, would love for you guys to come join us. Fanduel in DraftKings separately is $25 for the rest of the season, including the first two rounds of the playoffs. Sorry, it's still a little early over here. It's 9:30 or 9:45. Um, but yeah, you get the first two rounds if you guys want to do FanDuel 1 to 2 lineups per day. If you guys want to try us out for Price Picks, it's $20 per month. Probably gonna get 2 slips per day, like 2 3-mans. If you guys don't want that, I can just build you a pool of 6 to 10 plays that I really like, and you guys can pick and choose and do that from there. That's probably the better method, because there's always a good 6 or 10 that I really like, but sometimes I personally you know put the two ones that are wrong together, and yeah. So anyway, if you guys want to do that, would love to have you for that as well. Price Picks, like I said, trying to promote that a little bit more, and the models are doing pretty good. Once again, it was a pretty good night yesterday. A couple of them didn't do great, but overall, it was still about a 65% win percentage for Prize Picks. So, like I said, we'd love to have you guys come join us. If you follow us on our Twitter, Chris Anthony NBA1, give us a follow. And like I said, we'll follow you guys back. Sometimes we post free lineups and we post free price picks over there as well. So definitely give us a follow. And if you guys want to get in on premium, like I said, that's where to message us as well. Say, hey, we'd love to get in on free or the premium. We'll get you guys all set up. All right, with all that being said, all the blah blah blah, let's get all that out of the way. Took a little bit longer than normal. Let's go look at the first game we have here is Boston and the Magic. So I'm really not going to get into this game much. We have a 206 and a 6.5. So one of the slower games. Both these teams are on a back-to-back. Boston literally had game time decision guys yesterday, and here they did play. But I wouldn't be surprised maybe if one or two did sit here, or it's just a slow game. Honestly, I don't really have this game. Like I said, it was a little bit faster pace games for these guys yesterday, against their opponent. So personally, I might fade unless anything else comes out of it. Player props I haven't looked, but 206, just no reason really for me to target it. Philly and Washington, we're gonna move on. Um, we have a 226 and a 1.5 here by the 76ers, so I'm very intrigued to see if Quentin Grimes plays. if he does play, I think he's worth a look in cash games and single entries. I don't think you want a ton of him in tournaments since he's probably going to get you about 39 to 42, which is good for single entry and cash games. So, like I said, I do like Grimes here. Butler, I think he's a slight trap at 6,100. If he starts shooting the ball, maybe, but this guy just doesn't shoot the ball right now. If Quentin Grimes is out, then yeah, maybe I'll put him in there. But 6,100, I'm not a big fan of this guy. He really needs his steals and he turns the ball over. So 61's a little much for me. If Jeff Doughton plays, I don't know what his deal is. I didn't look at him, but he hasn't played in a long time. I'm not sure if they're just not playing him, but or he was injured. I can't tell, but if we find out that he's playing, then I'll put him in there. He might still be in the G League. I don't know. Like I said, we'll look at it a little bit more. But if I get word that Doughton's up and he's playing, then I'll probably put him in there because he's a pretty solid guy. Only if he's probably starting and Grimes is out. Um, Another guy, Ricky Council, if he starts and Grimes is out, I don't mind him. If he does start with Grimes starting, maybe 20 through 24. But like I said, Grimes takes up so much usage over there. One guy I don't mind, even if Grimes is there, is Lonnie Walker, especially if he's out. This guy's usage rate is massive. He just likes to shoot the ball. That's literally all he does. So 5,700, I'll take the discount here at a guy can get me 28 to 32. So Walker at 5,700 is a pretty solid mid range. We got Alex Sarr here at 66. If those guys continue staying out, I don't mind taking a shot with him, but that was only his one good game in a while. So a little iffy on that one. Yabusele's out. Justin Edwards, it's game time decision. Like I said, this even means more for Bana for me. I think Bana and Walker are my two favorites as of now, even if Grimes plays. So that's kind of what I'm going at in that one. And like I said, they're price half decent against not a good Washington team. All right, so we got the game of the day, game of the century. I don't know if it's a century, but this is going to be interesting, man. We got. I'm watching this one. We got the Lakers taking on Dallas. We got Luka going back to Dallas for the first time. We got Davis healthy ish, limit restriction. Two of the big powerhouses for the big trade that we saw a couple months ago. Um, yeah, so this should be. I honestly, Lucas should be like 95% owned here. I think he's going to go in there and just absolutely destroy these dudes. I wouldn't be surprised if he has like 37 points, 18 rebounds, 10 assists. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Um, I just think Luca might destroy these dudes, or he just thinks it's, that like every other day. But it can't be, man. There's going to be so many fans there missing him. There's not going to be any hate for Luca. There's going to be so much applause. There's going to be tons of signs saying we miss you. So yeah, I think it's going to be really emotional, but I think he's gonna do good here. So Luca 11-5, he's probably the lock of the lock of the lock. Got to put him in there. Everybody else here, I think Austin Reeves is okay at 8,000. I think, like I said, I really think Luka's going to pop, but I think Reeves can get a couple of those assists maybe that Luka's going to shoot. So LeBron, I think he's gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? And I think Davis knows this isn't about him. I think Davis, like this stat line right here against the Clippers, maybe a couple more assists. I wouldn't be surprised, or maybe the stat line against Atlanta, which is still pretty dang good. But I don't know, I think it's just a Luca one, so I'm just going Luca in this one, and that's where I'm going. Next game we have is Charlotte and Toronto, a 219. I think it was 9.5 spread. So Quickly's back. I don't mind him. The only thing with him is he is a veteran, so I wouldn't be surprised if they only play him 23, 24 minutes. We saw that a little bit yesterday with Kelly Olynyk and some of the others. But they don't have Shed and Walter, so they really are kind of dead in the water. Um, with that being said, AJ Lawson and Jared Roden, they might get some extra usage as well. Like I said, Lawson at 4-3, he can probably get you me 23, 24, so I don't mind going that way. Jared Roden, he's a little bit farther down the list because of Quickly, but still he might get you 20 minutes. So, like I said, keep those guys in mind. Nothing else I'm really into it. Barnes and Poidal are both out again. Mongo is worth a look, but besides that, not really a big fan. Mark Williams could pop, but once again, they could play him 23 minutes in this game. Moving on a little bit, we got Miami and Chicago. So Vukovic and Giddy are game time decisions. I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, if they play. I kind of said it yesterday in my price picks, and it's only a 1.5 spread here, so I'm guessing that they're going to play in this game, and or one of the big guys are going to be out for Miami. Did they play yesterday? They did not. But Bam is he all back? Okay, he's available. So yeah, that tells me that Giddy and Vuk's probably going to play. Um, I think that helps out Bam a little bit. Helps this game stay a little bit more competitive. Tyler Hero's at 9.2 is a little expensive. Same as Davion Mitchell. They're both solid options, but if you're trying to get Luka in there, it's hard to get some of those guys in there. They're not as cheap as they used to be. Um, Not really on Larson. I mean, you can maybe take a GPP shot with Duncan Robertson, but he has to shoot the ball and he's 46, so he's really not that cheap. So maybe if you're doing points over on price picks, I don't know what his points over are, but maybe we pick him up over there. But besides that, I need a little bit more injury news to give a little bit more insight on that one. All right, moving on. We have Portland and Utah. 229, a 6.5 here. So it's only a 6.5. So maybe Simons or Denny Avila continue to stay out in this game. Those are our two injuries that continue for Portland here at the end of the season. So Simons and Denny Avila are out again. Let's say they're both out. Banton's going to continue being in play for me. Sharp is going to continue getting 28 to 30% usage rate, which I think you have to play on a couple down games, but 8,000. I think he's in a really good spot against Utah. Really don't mind Sexton here at 6,400. They really have nobody left, and he has, a 25-30% usage rate. So if he plays here, another guy to look at playing upper minutes here in the season. So Sexton and George are both in play here in this one. If Simons and Denny Avila continue to be out, another guy to look at is Kamara. I don't think he'll get you 43, but around 30 to 32 could be a half decent spot. So cash game option for me. Um, Another guy you can look at is Matthias Thibault, but he's just not really an offensive guy. Really dependent on his defense here in this one. Um, and then looking at it here, I mean, Kyle Flabowski looks like a pretty easy spot for him. Only played 24 and 23 minutes. I didn't look at those previous games. I don't know if Collins or any backups were there, but looks like they're pretty thin. So another guy that could be worth maybe a look, but 6'9's a little expensive. OKC in Portland, so I would not. Sorry, Phoenix. So I would not be surprised if OKC maybe sits their dudes in this one, or maybe one of them here. It's a 9.5 still with a 226. I think this should be at least a 13-14. I mean, if you look at OKC, it's been a little hard for them, man. They've played Houston and then the Lakers, boom, boom. So they might be a little tired here right before the playoffs. So yeah, like I said, it wouldn't be a surprise if maybe Chet Holmgren sat in this one or Jalen Williams or something like that. Um, Keep an eye on it, and we'll see. So I'm not really going to get into this game because I think it's going to be. I think they're going to sit. If nobody sits, I just don't really care for it. It's not going to be competitive. We saw what Golden State did to Phoenix the other night. All right, Denver and Sacramento. So I think if you really want to like take a risk tonight and you're playing single entry, let's say you're playing like a 20 or 30 man, or even the Monster. The Monster's only 67 people tonight. Do you dare to take Jokic over Luca? Um, and I'm saying, like I said, if you're playing cash games and everything, you're playing Luca. But if you're playing to take down and be a little bit different, I really, I have to look at my ownership, but I really expect Jokic to be really low owned. But if you guys paid attention at all yesterday, Jokic might be a little pissed. His head coach is gone, GM's gone. Who knows what the heck is going on? Um, so either A, Jokic is distracted, but I don't think he is. We know what kind of mentality he is. I don't know. I think if you're playing GPPs, I think you take a shot with Jokic here if you want to be a little bit different. It's a 234. We have a 3.5. No Jamal Murray. We already saw the criticism. What's going on? I don't know, man. I just it's about 6 points higher than it is over there in Dallas. And I really expect his ownership to be low. So I think if you're going different, I think you go Jokic at 12.9. Yes, he's a little bit more expensive as well than Doncic, but I think that's if you're trying to be different, that's the way you go. Another guy I don't mind here is Jalen Pickett. I know he has not been good, but with Malone gone, I think they're gonna try to get him out there because I think I heard reports that they're trying to get Pickett out there, but Malone was playing Westbrook more and it was pissing him off. So I wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Pickett plays 28, 30 minutes in this game at 4,100. If he starts, it's definitely a lock. So keep an eye on Jalen Pickett for sure. And I'm gonna watch his. I don't know if Price Picks has him, but I'll definitely watch his Price Picks as well. All right, so we got that one. Like I said, I'm not really into that game besides maybe Pickett and Jokic, as I mentioned. San Antonio and Golden State. Let's dive into it a little. I wouldn't be surprised once again if Golden State rests their guys. Once again, they've been playing pretty competitive teams. Lakers, Denver, Houston, all within this last week, week and a half. So, like I said, wouldn't be surprised. I know they're fighting for playoffs, but if they can do it, I wouldn't be surprised if they sit here against San Antonio. If they do not sit, I'm not really into this game. If they do sit, Brandon Pasowski definitely comes into play. If Draymond Green sits, Jonathan Kamega comes into play. And if Butler and Green sits, I mean, shoot, you could even go look at where is he? Santos. I mean, who knows what they do? We'll see. Houston and the Clippers, last one of the night here. We have a game time decision for Alfred Sengun. Fred Van Fleet is doubtful in this one. And it's a back to back for Clippers, and Kawhi should play in this one as he sat yesterday. So, with Fred Van Fleet being out or doubtful, I don't mind. Emin Thompson might go back to the point guard position and get you, 7 or 8 assists in this game. It's not the greatest matchup, but I don't mind Thompson at 85. But for the most part, I really don't have much from this game. It should be one of the lower totals, probably what, 217, 219, 7.5, yeah. 7.5, like I said, without Sengun. So if Sengun doesn't play, Tyrese Eason comes into play. Maybe Adams if you want to, but I don't know if you really need to go that way. So anyway, that's most of what we got going on. Like I said, it was a really good night once again for premium last night. $250 for one of our subscribers. Like I said, only $25 for the rest of the season, including the first 2 rounds of the playoffs for NBA FanDuel. If you want to check us out for our price picks, only $20 for the entire month. And as I mentioned before, about 6 to 10 players that I like per day. I'll give you guys all those picks. You guys can pick and choose what you want to do with them, but those are going to be my top 6 to 10 plays per day, and you'll get that every single day for only $20, which is a lot cheaper than what other people do. So why not give us a shot if you guys want to try us out for Day Pass or even the free ones? Like I said, hit us up on our Twitter. Like I said, our Twitter is right there. Chris Anthony NBA1. Follow us, message us, hey, we'd love a free one, or get on a premium, and we'll get you guys all set up. All right, once again, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for watching. I really think this is going to be an amazing slate. I can't wait to watch Luka, and like I said, if you're doing GPPs, watch out for Jokic. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.